I want to focus on what I would call the hygiene handoff, how best to use your intraoral cameras in hygiene. And we all know that we should take lots of pictures with our patients and we should show them all kinds of images and show them the challenges. I really want to get into why that's so important. One of the challenges as to why that's important is the fact that when I look at dental offices, I find that somewhere between 50 and maybe 60% of patients have their next hygiene appointment scheduled. That's a challenge. We'd like to see that 80, 90, 100% in a perfect world. So what can we do to improve that loyalty, to keep people in hygiene and just have them understand the value of hygiene? One of the reasons why I see this as a challenge is because so often when we have healthy patients, when we come in to do our exam, we look at the patient and say, man, everything looks great. And the challenge with that is that the patient walks out feeling like everything's wonderful. And if they hear that everything's wonderful on their own, they believe, over time, at some point, especially if they're a cash patient, they start to believe, why do I keep coming in? Why am I paying for this? So where I would use your intraoral camera is to take a picture of staining, of calculus, of tartar, of anything, to show them, and then look at them and say, you're doing a great job of your home care. I want you to remember that we're a team, and the reason why you're so healthy is because we're such an effective team. You're doing a good job at home, but we're doing a good job when you're here, and it's important that we continue to work as a team and really create that attitude of a team mentality so they fully stay into the program. So find something, even if it's a healthy patient, find something in their mouth that you can take a picture of. Like I said, something as small and simple as staining so they can see what happens. The other thing that I think will really, really help with your hygiene exam, saving time, is what we call the hygiene handoff. One of the challenges I find is that the easiest case to get accepted is a patient who's in pain. The hardest, and the second easiest case to get accepted is a patient who comes in looking for cosmetics. The hardest case to get accepted is the patient who needs $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 of dentistry and they didn't expect it. So what can be done to help with this is what we call the hygiene handoff. And we're going to include a link to the full content on this that you can watch later, but I want to give you the very short version here. And the setup is just what I was describing. So often what happens is we come in to do a hygiene exam, we do it in the last 10 minutes of their appointment, and all of a sudden we drop on them that they need $300, $400, $500, maybe $1,000 of dentistry, and they're shocked. And in this scenario, there's usually two types of patients. The first type of patient is the one who's very, very aggressive, perhaps someone like me. And the challenge with that is now all of a sudden you tell me what I need and I'm like, hey, I need you to sit down. I have 20 questions. You're not leaving. And the second person is the very passive, timid person who's afraid to ask questions. And you hear this person often because what they say at the end of your exam is, I need to think about it. What I need to think about it really means from a psychology perspective is I don't understand what you just said and I'm too afraid to ask. So I'm going to think about it and I'm going to see you again in 6 months. You're going to repeat all this. And at some point I'm going to start to understand this and then I'm going to say yes to the treatment. So if we can take pictures, intraoral pictures of these problem areas in hygiene, put them up on the screen at the very beginning of the appointment to where the patient is staring at these images for the next 45 minutes. It'll allow that patient to start asking the hygienist all the 20 questions. And it will save you so much time on your hygiene exams that it will be mind-blowing to you. So how I want to see you use these intraoral cameras, which are a wonderful tool, is to get the pictures taken very early on every single patient. I don't care how healthy they are. I don't care who they are. Take a picture, put it up, let them stare at whatever the worst thing is. Even if it's just some coffee staining, let them stare at the coffee staining, because it will drive home the value of this appointment. I think if you do this, you'll find huge value in the cameras and what it will do to your hygiene department. And I think you'll see better results, you'll see better retention, you'll see more loyal patients. And like I said, if you want to learn more about what we call the hygiene handoff, there's a link that's going to be up here that you can click right on at the end of the video and it will show you the entire content on this, because I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to finish by saying thank you very much for your purchase of your Digital Doc cameras. You know, Digital Doc is a family-owned business, and we look at you as part of our family and are so appreciative that you trusted us to be a part of your journey, your life, and your practice with our cameras. And as such, if you have questions on any of this content, I want to give you a person you can call. His name is Dan Mahoney. He's our National Sales Director, and his phone number is right here. If you have any questions on how best to use these, you can always contact your local digital doc rep, but I want you to have one person you can always go to. Dan's a wonderful person. You'll very much enjoy him and his ability to coach you through how to use your cameras in hygiene. So feel free to give him a call if you have questions. And again, thank you so much from the Digital Doc family. Have a wonderful day, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend with us here.